just get out planting. Hey up, Woodlanders. Oh, we're in a sticky mess up here. According to the man on the telly, we've had somewhere in the region of all of March's rain and just a little bit more in the first 2 weeks. Look at it. What a sticky mess. I got work in this. But on the positive side, it's not going to rain any more today. Just tonight and tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. Decisions. Today I was going to extract, as in get all the logs out from the firewood piles so that I can plant. Only I thought, well, it's dry. Hopefully one more day we'll get the branch logging done. If you watched last week's wood log, you'll know that I've done all the twiggy bits, and so now it's just doing all the slightly larger stuff ready for charcoal making and firewood. So I won't bore you with all the B-roll details again. I bet you get fed up with all this under the conveyor, on the conveyor, around the conveyor, inside the hopper, on the tractor, under the tractor, in the tractor. Plan for the rest of the week is, I've got midges again. Tomorrow then will be extraction. Then that means I can replant that with a hazel, because the hazels I've got are coming into leaf, look, which is really not good. I want them out of there as quick as possible. The flies are gone. Orders are coming in as well, slowly, steady. Going to look at another job this week on Thursday. That's in Narborough, which is the other side of Leicester, which for me is, it's like the other side of the world. I've only been going about 2 minutes and the shear bolt's snapped already. Got one more spare shear pin. If this one snaps, I'm going to have to be careful about the size of the stuff I put through it. In the distance, I can hear the sound of a machine, and I think it's my neighbour, an excavator with a harvesting style head on it, and I can hear him. He's over there somewhere. Let's go and see if we can take a look. Another shear pin went, and that's because I couldn't tighten it this morning. Just got to get this last bit done. Trouble is, it's way over there. I can't get the tractor in because it's just too awkward in between these trees. But we're nearly there. Not quite made the full basket. It's a shame I keep snapping the PTO shear bolts, because I would actually have pushed it a little bit more and got other slightly bigger bits gone through. Before the branch logger days, that would have been cut up with a chainsaw in my truncator, and you lash it up, chop it up, you do it that way. The branch logger is actually a lot faster, and it was my hope that it would do like it says it would do. It's supposed to do over 3 inch in greenwood hardwood and up to 4 inch in greenwood pine, but my machine doesn't like that. It just snaps the pins. It either snaps the pins or stalls the tractor. So I have to basically go down to, I'd say 2 inches, about my maximum. However, I can still work with that, but of course you know, having that increased capacity would have been nicer. I'm not saying it won't do it, but for some reason I can't get it to do it without snapping pins or stalling on the line sheet. However, we plod on. So that's about me done for today. I have a slightly earlier day today, I think. I know you guys probably doing about 15-hour days and you think, what a slacker. But I'm old. So all in on our 2.5 day experiment with the branch logger of separating the twiggy bits from the actual loggings, I've got about 5.5 baskets full. That's not bad actually. It's more than I thought. I'll see you in the morning. It could be another tractor day tomorrow. See you bright and early. Good morning, Woodlanders. We've had so much rain overnight again. If you thought it was muddy yesterday, look at it. I mean, we're not full on ruts yet, but I told you the subject of the weather crops up there a bit. I've just backed my trailer in and it confirms to me a problem I have. When you reverse up, the brakes come on and it's always the near side brake. So I've had to order a socket for the hub so I can get the drum off, because the socket's like 46mm. Guess what my job is over this weekend? Is fix the trailer again. Such is life. Today should be a nice easy day. Well, it won't be easy. Lifting wood, putting it on the trailer, lifting wood, taking it off the trailer. I've got to try and get all of that area that I clear felled, the ash clear fell we'll call it. I've got to try and get all of the timber out of there so that I can get the planting done at the end of this week. I know you don't want to see me eat. We just had a great phone call from a guy who had some charcoal off us at the weekend. He wanted it in such an emergency, so a mate of mine, Pete, did it instead. Cobweb. To the point where it looks like their regional manager wants to have a chat with us about a continual supply, because before that they would source their charcoal from any sort of imported stuff that you buy off the supermarket shelf. So John, he recommended they use local charcoal. They did. Were blown away by the quality and the fact that it was all made locally, and so it looks like we could have some good orders from that, which will be, that's just, you know, when you're bobbing along at about 60%, one phone call later and I'm 20% more, so yeah, 80% now. That'd be spot on, that will. Loads of charcoal. We've got eggs, olives and pickled onions today. So you might be wondering, why is that guy moving sticks from over there to over there? Why can't he just leave the sticks there rather than wasting a whole day? And I've been asking myself that same question all day. This was a miniature clear fell because of ash dieback. So of course I've got to get this area cleared of all the brush and all the logs so that I can get it replanted. That's due to be at the end of this week. And so that's where that stack of pile comes in. Normally I would put that stack right up the top end where the work zone is, because that would be my later processed in middle of summer for my firewood for next winter. However, we've had so much rain in the last 3 weeks that the track up there is just like a bog, as you've seen already. My only option is to put them there because I will just get the tractor stuck and make such a mess it would be insane. During the early summer I'll come down here with a log processor. We will process all those logs into baskets. Once they're on a pallet and in baskets, then I can put the pallet tines on the tractor, and then each pallet can go up the top end once the ground is nice and dry. So that's the plan. It's not ideal. I hate double handling. On a positive note, we've managed to extract all the timber out there. I'm going to unload this, and tomorrow might be a gardening day, and so we'll be back here Friday, basically trying to get all my planting done for this year in one day. I don't know whether I'll get that done, but that's the goal. See you in about 5 seconds. Morning all. It's a bit gooey underfoot, and you know when water stands on grass for a long while, it stinks, rotten stagnantness. We've got the hazels to plant. That is these ones here. Look, we've got purple hazels and green hazels. There's an awful lot in there. They're coming into leaf. It's all a little bit late. There might be as many as 40 to 50 trees. More hazel there. I've got a willow in there. We've got some willow in here, but they don't seem to be doing that well. These were cuttings, and I'm not terribly convinced about these. A couple of sweet chestnuts. We've got a walnut tree there and a couple of hazels in that bag. I just want to try and get everything I've got planted. I've got some raspberries, I can plant those. Just some things to bear in mind if you are planting. Don't do what I do and leave it till the end of March. You're better off trying to do it as early as possible, really. Whereas now you see it's growing season and you put them in the ground, and thankfully it's wet, so you've got that opportunity for lots of wet moisture there. But if we have a dry spell in April, it can all but kill the tree because it hasn't had a chance to get its roots and settle into the ground. The worst thing you can do with a tree is wave its roots round in the wind for it. We were taught at college that if you leave a root out in the sun or the wind for anything more than a couple of minutes, and you could potentially kill off the root system. Now you won't know that until the tree tries to grow, but the root systems have just dried out and died. So if you are planting or transplanting trees or any kind of plant, is keep the root ball protected up until the point that you stick it in the ground. Planting's one of them where I don't really enjoy it. It's a bit of a backbreaker, but once it's done, you're like, you know what, I've planted for the future. That is just amazing. When I look back now at the trees I planted 20 years ago, oh, it's just fantastic. Those trees that I planted 20 years ago are very much like the ones you see behind me. And to know that you put in a tree that was like a foot tall, and in 20 years you get this, it's just an amazing feeling. So all the back breaking, all that, it's just so worth it. So a quick reminder, if you're able to, plant some trees, fruit trees, hedgerow trees, even if you have to, spiky trees, just avoid the blackthorn and the dog rose. Just plant some trees, just do what you can. Ask permission, get your trees, stick them in the ground, do something for the future, plant trees. I know planting trees isn't always the cure-all for everything, but it does feel immensely satisfying to plant a tree and to just follow it up, watch it grow. Ask a landowner, some friends, maybe they've got a bit of ground they could plant up. Plant some tiny, plant some bulbs, plant some wildflowers. Just get out planting.
Anyway, I'm waffling again.
Part of one of my jobs here this morning is to check these Robinias. So in the background, if I zoom in, you'll see some little brown shelters. They were Robinia pseudoacacia. Actually, they're a spiky tree, be warned, but they are an incredible timber tree. Some say don't plant them because they can sucker. Last year we had the plus 40-degree drought in the UK, and I couldn't water them. And I only planted them last winter, so I think nearly everyone is dead. Handy tip, this one's brown bread. A way of telling, I mean, normally these buds would have burst by now. If you get your hardened off Woodlander's thumbnail, just give it a little scratch. There's nothing there, look. I know this one's dead anyway, so that's how you tell. What you would get is green in there, you can see on this one. So let's give that a little scratch. You'll see green right next to my fingernail. I'll try and zoom in the picture. And all you need is just a tiny little scratch. You haven't got to kill the tree. And if you're just unsure, you can work out whether it's alive or dead or not. This is the Robinia. You can just, that's it there, look. That was the Robinia. I've not done anything to it. And it's just rotted off, look, rotten, dead. That was the last of the Robinias, and not one of them survived. I grew those from seed as well, so you see them grow like little babies, and then they die. Not to worry. Got a little hazel, good root system, and all I do is my T-slot, I put one in that way, one in this way, I lift it up, just a case of making sure that the root system is around about at the top of the soil like it was before. I think that's what they call the root collar. Canes are supposed to go in the side of the wind, so our prevailing wind comes from this direction, so you have the cane on this side, so that if it was a bigger tree and the prevailing wind wobbles this about, it doesn't rub against a cane on this side. Hopefully it won't rub at all. That's the theory. On such little trees it doesn't really matter. Now I know you eagle-eyed woodlanders will have noticed that I've left one ash in. But I can't tell if it's suffering from ash dieback or not. There's no evidence at the bottom end. And it's a really nice tall straight stem up until about 25 foot. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to leave that rather than fell it. I just think if it provides some sort of seed bank, if there's any resilience to ash dieback. But I'm hopeful for this one. But well spotted, if you saw the ash tree on previous woodlogs. Just down this bottom end in our bottom corner, I just planted the rest of the hazels just down here. I've got about 3 left, I think. Put them in, popped a little bit of mulch on. So that's this corner done. I've nearly planted all the hazel up. My other job is these hawthorn. I lifted these up from up there because I didn't want them where they were, and the holly. And I'm going to plant these up by the entranceway. And then there's that mock orange a couple of raspberries and a loganberry. I think that's about all of my planting done then. I tell you what, it's a sprint to the finish today. So we've got all the hazels in and the sweet chestnuts in, and we've got the mock orange in, that's up near the gateway. We've got the raspberries in just near the fruit zone. We've got the hollies in by the gateway because I want to just, where I've knocked the brambles off, re-establish some hollies in there. What else have we got? And then the last thing on the list is this willow. But I'll be honest with you, that's alright. These are pretty grim. Yeah, you see that's dead, that is. Yeah, it's got green in it. You get to that bit and that's dead. I was trying to establish a willow bed down that bottom end because it's sort of wet and sticky down there. I'm starting to wonder whether the willow bed is just a bad idea. So just before you click off and go and watch something else like cats jumping on furniture or something, I just wanted to say thanks again for watching the channel this week. If you're able to, try and enjoy the woodlands. If you're able to, try and plant a tree while we've still got time left, and just enjoy this stunning landscape. You can hear the blackbird in the distance. We will see you next time, and remember, enjoy life now, not just when you retire. See you in the next one. I was thinking about some of my missions for this year. I thought one of my main goals this year is to try and be even better organised, and there's always seems to be an awful lot of debris in and around this sort of work zone. But I do feel it's still turning into more of a scrapyard than ever a woodland, and I don't like it. But I just want to get even better organised in the timber store, better organised round by the charcoal making zone, and perhaps less baskets knocking around everywhere. Just try and condense things to just be a little bit more user friendly. I don't want to encourage you woodlanders to think that all woodlands can just be a dumping ground for waste, because that's really not the message I'm trying to get across here really. Note to myself, get better organised.